I don't think you've really lived until you've heard a 51-year-old woman rap badly. So
It's Channel Mom with Jenny Dean Schmidt. We're here for you.
I'm Tom Walker with American Family Insurance. If you have questions about insurance or other services we provide, I want to help. You're always welcome to contact me or simply stop by my office so we can get to know each other. Thanks for visiting and have a great day.
Call Tom at Tom Walker Agency, your American Star certified agency. Excellence in customer experience at TomWalkerInsurance.com.
Get up now, get up now, get up out of bed. Wash your face, brush your teeth, comb your sleepy head. Wash your clothes and your shoes. Hear the words I said. Get up now, get up, make your bed. Are you hot, are you cold, are you wearing that? Wash your books and your lunch.
Welcome back to the Channel Mom Show. That would be Miss Anita Renfroe. She's a comedian. She does the Women of Faith tour. A lot of people know her through that. She's an author. She's a speaker. She's sought after. She's been on television in a variety of capacities, on Good Morning America, on Fox News, on Oprah. So you're probably going to recognize her voice and her hilarity. We are very, very blessed to have Anita Renfroe on the Channel Mom Show. Welcome to the Channel Mom Show, Anita. We're so glad to have you.
oh my goodness, I'm exhausted after hearing everything you think I do.
Oh, and I forgot to mention, folks, and I should have mentioned this first, she's a mother of 3. Is that correct, Anita?
I am in a grandmother of 3, so I'm just moving on in life.
Yes, you are. But I want to ask you some more serious things. I had this heart because I was in television and I did a lot of TV reporting, and people back then, even though I wasn't sort of a big timer, I wasn't Angelina Jolie or anybody super famous, but in the towns I worked in, people thought I was important because I was on television and they wanted my autograph and they thought I was a special person. And when I became quote unquote just a mom and left television, I stopped being important to people. Nobody wanted my autograph anymore, and I saw the travesty of the fact that our culture has it backwards. That we think that we think that somebody that's telling us about murder and mayhem is more important than the woman raising the next generation and putting up with all the yucky stuff that you have to do that. And so I look at you and a woman like you and I think I really want to hear what drove her to do media for moms. Because that's what I'm trying to do is media for moms, to say, hold on, we've got it backwards. The media is honoring all the wrong things, so we're going to honor motherhood. So talk to me about that. You're a pastor's wife. You got 3 kids of your own. What drove you in to say, you know what, I'm going to perform for moms and I'm going to make motherhood a great thing and put it in the spotlight?
Well, I think, quite honestly, it wasn't quite that well thought out.
Okay.
I'm not very strategic. I don't think I would give myself credit for ever having a thought like, I'm going to do media for moms. That is brilliant in hindsight now that you say it. But I would much more confess to being a little more Forrest Gump about it than that. In that I was just living my life, and when I didn't even plan on being a comic, to be honest. I was a pastor's wife and a stay-at-home mom, and I would just go occasionally and do music at women's conferences, and people would say, you're really funny, you should do comedy, you're really funny. I'm like, I wasn't being funny, I was just talking. They're like, no, but it's really funny, you should be a comic. And I would be like, yeah, because I really discounted it. And I think sometimes when God puts a gift inside you, you don't really think anything about it. People have to point it out that it's kind of remarkable. It didn't occur to me that the weird party that I had going on in my head was worth anything to anybody.
Yeah.
And I got, closer to 40 and a little more authentic in my life, and I quit caring what people thought, and I kind of let the party out of my head. It was almost like God's like, I can use that. Why don't you let me use that part of you? And I'm like, well, that's unlikely, but okay. So I started, doing a little bit of comedy, and people were like, oh, can you do some more? Come back and do half an hour at our next women's conference. I'm like, I don't know. I'm glad I have a year to think about it, because I was just living it at that point, not trying to codify it, to give people. So it turns out that for me, the most successful thing is just to report from the front lines of my life. I don't try to write clever comedy. I don't, sit down and try to think up, amazing punchlines. I basically just live and report. And so the Mom Song was just an addition to that DVD, and I had no idea that it was ever going to end up on YouTube or seen by, bazillion people around the globe. If I had, I would have sung it better, okay? So let's just be honest. I would have sung that better if I'd known it was going to do that. So I can't say that I was strategic in doing comedy for moms, but it's who I was. I don't know. I think women just love to have an excuse to laugh, and we hardly ever write ourselves in a permission slip. So maybe that's why I exist, is to write a permission slip to laugh about that part of our lives.
Absolutely. And they want an excuse to feel better about themselves, and they want an excuse to relax about what they're doing wrong. And you do all of that with your songs. I'm going to play another quick song that has to do with motherhood, because so many of your songs do. So go ahead, Jorge. Let's give us a little play.
Once upon a time when I was just a little girl, I couldn't wait to grow up and rock somebody's world. Get a husband and his house and a happy family like the moms who made it look so easy on my TV. June Cleaver, Living Walter, Claire Huxtable, Mrs. C, lovely ladies and their babies, even stepmom Carol Brady had it going on. Always right, kept it tight no matter what went wrong. Packed the lunches every day in a brown sack. Had supper on the table every night, Mac. Wore the pearls while they dusted off the knickknacks. Picket fence, perfect kids in time to chillax. But the writers out in Hollywood must be whack. Oh yeah, they kinda failed to tell us the facts. What they should have said is, hey, if you adopt or give birth, you move into the craziest place on this earth. It's called the motherhood. Hey, you got you some kids. Oh yeah, the motherhood.
Okay, enough said. I love the words in that song. And by the way, you must have been happy because you were produced in that song. They didn't just kind of get you off stage singing a ditty. You actually got to be produced, and you look fabulous, and you're hilarious.
I know, right? You know what? When I hear myself sing it makes me laugh because I never hear that. I only perform it. And so when I hear myself sing it, I'm like, girl, you be tripping. Why do you think you can rap? That is so wrong. So, no, I don't think you've really lived until you've heard a 51-year-old woman rap badly. So there you go.
A 51-year-old white woman from the South. I mean, let's just put it all together.
It gets more absurd. It gets more absurd as
That's
you go.
right.